So then how do you help somebody know they're hiding in plain sight?
I think that first of all, it's getting people to sit and notice that maybe there is that discomfort in their body. Maybe we're having a conversation about an event they're putting on, and they're like, well, I don't really know about this section of it. I don't really know if I want to talk about that, or I don't really know if I'm an expert in this type of field. Maybe we need to hire someone to come in and speak on this behalf, on that piece. And for me, that's a first red flag. It's acknowledging that there are pieces of you that maybe you don't feel comfortable honoring or saying yes to. And it's all about the noticing. And this for an entrepreneur can be really challenging because as an entrepreneur myself, it's like we're moving, we're pivoting, we're doing a million things all at once. We're acting lean so that we can grow our business. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's slowing down is where we can find the misalignment.
So welcome, Paul. It's exciting to have you here on the Creating Powerful Impact stage. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, thank you for having me onto this virtual stage. I'm so honored.
I'm excited to have you here because I want to kind of start where it all began. Not with like the clothing and not even necessarily with the content, but with the clarity.
Hmm.
Now, I know, Paul, that you've said that image is energy
Hmm.
and that it's not about performance, it's about presence.
Hmm.
Can we begin with what that actually means for a leader who's ready to be fully seen?
Sure. Well, there's so much underneath all of this, but I think that the first thing that we have to do to be ready to be seen is be willing to see ourselves fully. And ultimately, when you're able to see yourself, you're able to allow others to see that version of you. And that's what I do within the work that I share with my clients and community is image alchemy is giving yourself permission to fully see who you are on the inside so that you can show up as that person. And believe it or not, there are so many entrepreneurs who are showing up in a way that they think others want them to be. And that's what gets in the way of so much success and potential.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I work with a number of entrepreneurs who go up on stages and they feel they have to act a certain way and look a certain way. But when they actually kind of dive into that real alignment, that's when people are actually more attracted to them and are leaning into what it is that they're doing in their sales. What would you say, um, what does alignment actually feel like for your clients?
It almost feels like nothing at all in the sense that there's no blocks. There's nothing that's kind of feeling crunchy inside of you. It's like, okay, I know who I am. I know what I stand for. I know that I'm honoring that every single step of the way. And because of that, I feel totally free. And like there's just like if you were to close your eyes and feel this kind of line from the bottom of your feet all the way up to your head, there would be no breaks, no blocks, no confusion as to how that energy is flowing. That truly is alignment.
Yeah. So then how do you help somebody know they're hiding in plain sight?
I think that first of all, it's getting people to sit and notice that maybe there is that discomfort in their body. Maybe we're having a conversation about an event they're putting on, and they're like, well, I don't really know about this section of it. I don't really know if I want to talk about that, or I don't really know if I'm an expert in this type of field. Maybe we need to hire someone to come in and speak on this behalf, on that piece. And for me, that's a first red flag. It's acknowledging that there are pieces of you that maybe you don't feel comfortable honoring or saying yes to. And it's all about the noticing. And this for an entrepreneur can be really challenging because as an entrepreneur myself, it's like we're moving, we're pivoting, we're doing a million things all at once. We're acting lean so that we can grow our business. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's slowing down is where we can find the misalignment. And that's what I do with this practice of image alchemy within my high level coaching program. Essentially, what we're doing is we are taking time to look at our day to day and where we aren't aligned. And then we're going to get clear on how to align it, which it's like, okay, how do I do that? How do I get aligned? And I think if you're asking yourself that question, that's the perfect first step.
What would you say is one thing that founders get wrong about their personal brand and their branding?
I think that founders get wrong that their personal brand has anything to do with how people perceive them. Their personal brand actually has everything to do with how you perceive yourself. Because when you're looking in the mirror, I want you to say, yes, my hair is done is making me feel 100% like myself, like I'm connected to my mission, my purpose, my passion. The clothes I have on, they are speaking for me before I even step into the room and say anything. And that message that they're sharing is exactly connected with who I am. The way that I am showing up for myself is the personal brand. And I think that a lot of people are so focused, especially entrepreneurs, on this external. What are people thinking of me? Do I look successful? How are people going to trust me as an authority? And yes, that all comes, but like I said at the beginning, if you're unwilling to see yourself as the authority, if you're unwilling to see yourself as the most successful human ever in your niche, you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
And that to me is like a really tough mindset switch to work through. But once you embody that, it's like, oh, it makes complete sense.
Yeah, so we're not just talking about putting on the right jacket. We're talking
Right.
about showing up in a way that transmits something. I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
So I want to go a little bit deeper into like that transformation. What does that actually look like?
Mhm.
If we could talk about the image alchemy, you've talked about it a couple of times, or you mentioned it. Not just what it is, but how it works.
Sure. So let me share a little bit about how Image Alchemy came to be, and then I'll also share a client transformation that will hopefully really pinpoint how it works and why we do it. So I'm a stylist by trade. I also am an agency owner, so I specialize in social media strategy and content creation and supporting full picture vision of marketing. So your personal brand is your marketing, your social media, the events that you do, right? Everything is marketing and how we get people's eyes on us. So as a stylist, people come to me and say, I have an event, I want to look like this. I want to do this. And I was doing that for so long and realizing that I kept on coming up to this block because people had an idea of how they wanted to look, but then when they put the clothes on, they say, I don't feel the way I want to look. And I'm like, okay, yes, because if we're going to invest like $10,000 in a very nice made to measure suit by Tom Ford, and you're going to put it on and it's not going to empower or embody the way you want to feel, then something's off inside. So I don't know if you can relate, but sometimes I'll see like a celebrity wearing something and I'm like, oh yes, I want to put that on and I'm going to feel that way. And then I'll go to the store, I'll find it, I'll try it on and I'll be like, still Paul. I'm still that person. I'm not actually a celebrity. This is, of course, this is how marketing works and why celebrity marketing and just in general, this consumerism and works. So I have a client who is a high level divorce attorney. And she came to me and she said, I want to grow my podcast. I want to grow my social media following and I want to grow my firm, but there's something standing in the way. And I said, okay, well, let's talk through it. So we do a weekly call in Image Alchemy and we talk about everything, your life, your business, where you came from, where you're going, your vision for your life in general and get underneath the why I want to show up, why I want to be successful. And from there, I will then support the transformation through the clothing. So, for example, my client, she has to show up in court And she's a real girly girl. Like she loves to wear pink, she loves glitter, she loves bows. And when you think of a lawyer, you don't necessarily think of that. But she did not feel embodied as herself unless she was wearing like really feminine clothing. So we figured out a way to utilize suiting, but make it feminine, make it fun, maybe with her accessories, with her shoes. And when she shows up to court, she feels so connected with who she is as an individual now that she just goes in and she wins and she throws down the courtroom and everyone's saying, "You look amazing." To the point where other lawyers in her field are saying, "I want to dress like you." And she's like, "Oh, well, you got to reach out to Paul." And then they come to me and they're like, "I want to dress just like this lawyer." And I'm like, "Okay, we can do that. And also, why? Why do
Hmm.
you want to dress like her?" Say, "Well, she's amazing. Her business is so successful." And I said, "Okay, those are byproducts of the work that we've done underneath." So image alchemy is about alchemizing the internal, which, for example, this woman, she is very feminine, girly, carefree, and then taking that and embodying it in the external in a way that the personal brand, which is those three pillars, feminine, carefree, and just full of life, embodying that into the clothing and making it translate in a way that just connects all the dots. So she can walk in and not have to worry about it because she knows she's so aligned.
Well, and I think the confidence shows up and shows through.
Mhm.
Just because you were saying like lawyer in pink, I automatically thought of like Elle Woods and Legally
Yes.
Blonde, right?
Mhm.
But it was more her confidence that she's like, I know my stuff, I know how to move this forward, I know the law, so on and so forth. And the attire is just amplifying that. Would you say?
Absolutely.
Okay, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that kind of like behind the scenes, behind the curtain look. So that now that we're understanding the depth of your work and how you kind of pull that out and have that shine, if we could, I'd love to switch over to the strategy side
Mhm.
because you're not just creating impact, you're also scaling it. And
Mhm.
I know that you've been using some pretty powerful tools to do that.
Mhm.
Would you kind of go into how you're using AI without like losing your voice and how you're using it to scale?
Absolutely. So for me, AI has been really valuable because I find that I love to use it as like a window into the missing parts of my business. I love to use it in a way of like what you know about me. Like this is my favorite prompt. From what you know about me and my business, what are the missing pieces? What's keeping me from getting to the next level? And it might come back as, you're focusing on too many things. Maybe you're spending too much time advertising the instead of focusing deep into the actual clients that you already have. Like this is feedback that I receive, and then I can first of all check in with myself and make sure that it's aligned feedback because it's a machine, and I am a human and I know I have an intuition and I know what's best. So using AI within my business has been really valuable. But when it comes to for my clients, I will support them programming in their personal brand, and then we utilize tools like there's this AI closet tool app that I use called Wearing, where basically we load up all of their outfits into the app. And then I can support them in rethinking different ways so they're not wearing the same thing over and over and over again. And this is just a tool that then I can also load in new options that maybe I'm looking to have them invest in. They can see it. And there's also new tools that are allowing us to do AI try-ons. So uploading an avatar of my clients and then putting them in the clothes. So, because a lot of entrepreneurs don't even have the time to go to the store, or even I'm based in New York, and a lot of my clients will fly to New York City a couple times a year and we'll do a big overhaul of their wardrobe. But I can support clients anywhere using AI now. And it's really exciting for me because I have international clients, a lot of clients actually based in California. And I can also just ship clothing to you knowing exactly what it's going to look like so we're not wasting time because time is money and it's super valuable, and I want the work that I'm doing with my clients to add to their life, not take away from it.
Yeah. And I'm sure you probably get into color as well. I know from at least on the stage when we're doing what's known as sales and enrollment or conversion events, you wear different colors on different days based on what is the energy behind that day. For
Hmm.
instance, if you were doing day one is about community and connection, you're going to wear more of like an approachable color, but that's matched to you and your
Hmm.
design.
Hmm.
Versus day two and day three, you're probably making an offer, so you're using one more of like the power colors that kind of really bring that energy out and through. Have you
Hmm.
seen that with the colors when you are matching outfits and designs and all of that with your clients, like how their physical being literally changes when you're doing that?
Absolutely. And I think, again, where I'm different than most stylists is I'm always focusing on how my client feels, how the clothing impacts their internal and external so that they can close a deal whether they're wearing neon pink or black. And it's all about the confidence, like you had mentioned, and there is so much psychology around dressing, and I think that that's what I love to use, the psychology around dressing, but I love to use it to up level my clients, because again, the personal brand that I believe in is the one that you see for yourself and not necessarily how people are perceiving you. But you could show, if you're confident enough, you could show up in a trash bag and you could sell it all. But fire me if I'm putting you in a trash bag, because that's not what a stylist should be doing.
Yeah, no, no, probably not. I mean, I'm sure people can rock a trash bag, but that's not what we're doing here. So if we're looking at things from, bringing that internal piece out and having this being more, would you say like a spiritual practice is being
Mm,
visible? It's not just strategic, but there's also that emotional tie to it.
mhm.
Um,
It's definitely a lot of energetic work.
yeah.
It's for me, and the thing is and why I'm very specific about the clients I work with is that I'm looking for an entrepreneur, I'm looking for a public leader, I'm looking for humans who are ready to level up and willing to look inside. Right? The clothes for me are actually the afterthought. They're the most fun part, and they're the part that like we can actually justify. Like I'll clients will have no qualms about investing like six figures in their wardrobe. But when I say, hey, you're also investing in working with me, your stylist and coach, we can run up against some things. Well, that's not tangible for me. And we get to do the tangible work and the intangible work actually to make sure that these clothes that you're investing in are going to be timeless for you. And you're not going to wear them once and be like, okay, I'm done with that, or that trend is over. Like trends are a really beautiful thing because they can guide us, but also they can deter us from keep aligning with truly long-term success in our wardrobe. But I want you to feel confident wearing whatever you want to wear. And that takes some inner work and willingness to do it. So this program isn't just for anyone who's looking to get a new suit. It's for someone who wants to do the internal work. There's someone who knows and feels that there's a glass ceiling that they're banging at, and they're doing everything on paper right, but there's something that's keeping you from it. And that again, I had another client who came to me and she said, she's a contractor and she has a business with her husband. And she said, I want to do these projects, but my husband doesn't feel like investing in them. So I want to create my own subcontracting portion of our business, but I'm scared to death. What if I fail? What if it doesn't work out? But I know that we need to do these things. I know that I see a big vision for this. So she knew that she needed the internal work to not have to rely on her husband to, support her. Also, she's a woman showing up in a male dominated niche. So there needs to be a lot more confidence and a lot more, you got to take me seriously as a woman in contracting. And we worked together to help her embody that boss that I already knew she was. She just had to give herself permission to show up. And then once I got her resonating at that level, I sent her the clothing that would support her. And she's unstoppable now. She just launched her second project within this subdivision of her business. And she messaged me. She was like, my husband thinks that we should just fully commit to what I'm doing now because we are dominating it. And I said, see, That's what it's about. It's about you saying yes to yourself, not just within what you want to wear, but who you want to be.
Have you either yourself or one of your clients feel like overexposed or misrepresented as they're kind of going through this process?
I don't really feel like there's an overexposure, maybe within like the intimates of like working with me directly, there might be that like, okay, I need to learn how to trust this person. I'm really great at building trust, but there's always going to be this vulnerability of saying, okay, so tell me about why you're scared to show up fully. And 9 times out of 10, something happened to them as a little kid where they were made wrong for being the star, or, you know, dad made them bad and shamed them for wanting to do so many different things. Entrepreneurs, were multifaceted, and so many entrepreneurs I know come to the table with this: I'm supposed to do one thing and I'm supposed to do it well, and that's it. And at the end of the day, we have to wear multiple hats. So, and especially for I'm 40, so my parents' generation was all, my dad was like, choose one thing, do it well, provide for your family, that's it. And that messaging took me so long to reverse, even though I'm seeing how successful I am as a human, doing all these different things, wearing all these different hats. I'm still making myself wrong inside because my dad told me that I had to do it a certain way to be successful. So it's breaking the familial trauma, the ancestral learnings, breaking all those patterns so that not only are we showing up as the most empowered versions of ourselves, but we can do it and we can look amazing. So, yes, it can be scary, it can get vulnerable, but I promise that on the other end of that, you are going to feel so powerful and unstoppable.
Yeah, I really appreciate how you're willing just to like name those hard parts and go into those pieces because that's what's
Mm.
eventually going to bring all of those out into the world to be fully seen and in alignment and draw people into you. And that's what we want in business, right? Is to
Amen.
attract the clients, attract the family, attract, the soul family, attract all of the people in our world.
Mhm.
But if I could kind of flip on you again, I know that you help others evolve into like the next version of themselves, but I wanted
Mhm.
to ask you, like, what's your next edge?
My next edge is not doing it all on my own. My next edge is releasing control of all of my systems and my strategies. My next edge is knowing that I'm meant for so much more than just this solopreneur journey. I've been very successful, and I know that scaling is truly a blessing and the opportunity. So that's my next edge, is like building out an even deeper team, teaching others how to do what I do, whether it be other business owners or training other image alchemists within my space.
Yeah.
And that to me is like the most rewarding part, because I'm just one person and I'm not going to be able to change all of the entrepreneurs' lives that would love to be changed. And I know that with the support, I'm going to be able to do so much more.
Yeah, there deserves to be Paul and Paul systems running around all over the place helping more entrepreneurs for sure. I love
Yes,
that.
yes.
Okay, so certification or something might be in your future.
We shall see.
I love it. I love it. Well, Paul, I really appreciate you kind of jumping in and giving us a behind the scenes look at it's not just the style, it's not just the clothes, it's not just the colors, it's the under pieces that really help the clothes we then put on make a bigger impact in the
Mhm,
world.
mhm.
Before we wrap, I wanted to ask you one, if somebody's interested in connecting with you, what's the best way for them to do that? And then my other question is going to be, what's one truth every founder needs to sit with when they're ready to be fully seen?
Let's start with that.
Okay.
One truth that every founder needs to sit with before they can be fully seen is that you are worthy of being seen. You are worthy, you belong. Your innate desire to show up and have this business is enough. and everything else will fall into place as long as you believe that it's enough. So that's the truth.
Perfect.
And then if you're interested in learning more about Image Alchemy, or you're interested in learning more about me, I always love having people come over to my Instagram. It's at Paul X Luxury. I believe that being luxurious is a collaboration between your dreams and you. So that's why I have that handle. And you can also go to paulxluxury.com to find the Image Alchemy application, see what else I'm doing, and just have a blast.
I love it. Thank you for being with us today, Paul, and for our listeners. Hopefully this episode opens something up in you. And if so, please share it. Share it with a friend, a colleague, a team member, because alignment isn't just about how you show up. It's about who you're here to become. Until next time, have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you so much for listening to the Creating Powerful Impact podcast. If you are a successful coach, speaker, author, or thought leader who would like to be on this program, simply visit creatingpowerfulimpact.com/guest. If you are someone who got something out of this interview, would you please do me a favor and share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot with your phone and text it to a friend or post it on your socials. Also, if you know somebody that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Creating Powerful Impact. I love seeing all of your posts and great guest selections. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, go ahead and subscribe. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show, and they really mean a lot to me and my team. Want to know more about us? Head on over to our website, graceandeaseproductions.com, or follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram. Just look for Grace and Ease Productions on your favorite platform. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.